Check, check.
Thank you. If everybody can take their seats, we'll get this meeting started. Okay, very good. Everybody present? Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the WMU Board of Trustees meeting. It's my pleasure to be here, and this is our final meeting of the semester and for the year of 2023. We have a lot to be thankful for this year, and I'm very grateful for each and every one of you who have taken time out of their busy schedule to be here today or maybe be here on live stream. Secretary Schuman, do we have a quorum?
Chair Edgerton, we do. We also have Trustee Turfy joining us virtually. He has somewhat spotty reception, so he has submitted his votes for the roll call vote in proxy. So if we do lose connectivity, I have his vote. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on the board for a motion to accept today's agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Nay? Okay. Thank you. Are there any comments from the trustees regarding the minutes from our September 28th meeting? Comments? Try to catch everybody. It's a little bit bigger table this time. Hearing none, could I get a motion from one of the trustees to accept the minutes?
Support.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. As we move into this final meeting, and before we get to the business of the agenda, I just want to extend my sincere thanks to the board colleagues. It's a substantial responsibility and an honor to advocate on behalf of the university and provide fiduciary leadership. I have deep respect for all of you and appreciate the thoughtfulness, the skill, care, and everything that you bring to the table as in your role as trustee. I also want to extend a thanks to our shared governance partners in the back, President Sarah Summey from Faculty Senate and WSA President Kayla Bird. They have a lot of work on their plate all the time, and I appreciate you keeping us informed and giving us those updates. And we certainly appreciate your engagement and partnership with the university. I also want to thank President Montgomery for his leadership as we head into this home stretch of the fall, busy and productive fall semester. We've got a long list of things. If you haven't been to the Student Center, you should be. It is the best of the best. It is one of the crowning jewels, I'll say, for the university right now. We've had increase in new enrollment as well as a fantastic groundbreaking improvements in retention and graduate student enrollment. We've also been very lucky to sign the Okanagan Charter. I think we're one of 21 universities which have done it, which enhances our commitment to our well-being campus-wide. I mean, these are all fantastic achievements and are simply outstanding. What's more, in President Montgomery's State of the University address, he cast an incredible and exciting vision for our next decade of elevating our student success to unprecedented heights. To quote some of his remarks, he noted, "We're not just attracting students, we're empowering them to cross the graduation stage. I'm so proud to say that Western is excellent at breaking through barriers so that all may learn." So speaking of graduation, we'll be having one in about 2 weeks, and we will be celebrating our 339th commencement at Miller Auditorium. And I know that some of the trustees will be in attendance, and apparently there's about 1,200 graduates that we will be rewarding diplomas to. Relatedly, on the agenda today, the board's asked to approve 2 honorary degrees for 2 distinguished individuals who have been pillar of our community. One, President Emeritus John M. Dunn, who's being recommended for an honorary doctorate, and then, of course, our beloved trustee colleague, the late Shawnee Penn, for posthumous degrees. Both are very well deserving of this high honor, and we look forward to awarding those at the graduation ceremony. Yesterday, in the same very room, we had a celebration of a different kind, one steeped in historical importance. I had the pleasure of offering some welcome remarks, commemorating an important figure in Western and Kalamazoo's history, construction business owner Albert J. White, it was just a phenomenal turnout, I have to say. He is credited with the masonry construction of Western's very first building, the building that we sit in today, called Heritage Hall. As well as several other notable buildings in Kalamazoo, including Borges Hospital. Mr. White, who was the son of formerly enslaved individuals, started his business in Kalamazoo about 2 decades after the official end of slavery in the United States and completed work on Heritage Hall in the 1900s. We are very proud to continue highlighting his legacy now and for future generations. And in the spring, we will actually be doing a dedication ceremony again of a plaque, or as the one woman wanted, a statue. I'm not sure if that's in the making, but we will be recognizing this building with a contribution for this, yes. So before we turn our attention to the board agenda, we have an exciting presentation today, and I'm sure each of you will find intriguing and certainly showcases the dedication of our students and our professors, along with WMU's strong collaboration efforts to advance technology and help shape the future of transportation throughout Michigan and globally. Later in the agenda, Dr. Montgomery will introduce, and I do apologize if I don't say this correctly, Dr. Upu'atunayaku, to discuss a partnership developed between WM Research Center of Excellence for Structural Durability and the Michigan Department of Transportation that has resulted in the official completion and opening of a bridge along Interstate 94. This is very exciting news, and we look forward to hearing the details about the project after we hear updates from our shared partners. And I'm hoping most of you caught it on the news. I think it was posted on Channel 3 News and stuff, so you were able to at least get a small glimpse of the fantastic work. So now for the agenda, we're going to hear from Jan Vanderclay, who's Vice President of Business and Finance, who will discuss information about the LISO program, which is Law Enforcement Support Office Program. This program we've worked with since 2011 recommends we have to have board participation and approval. It allows Western's Department of Public Safety to secure equipment that can further enhance campus safety. Having this pipeline to equipment can aid our safety and security preparedness and responsiveness and is extremely important and useful. I don't know if Chief Marlowe is here. We're in the back corner? Okay. Thank the chief and his department for consistently pursuing enhancements such as participation in this program and to further strengthen the safety of our campus community. So we look forward to hearing from Jan on that. We're also going to hear from our general counsel, Keith Hahn, who's going to lead us in discussion on the adoption of an amendment to the Paper Tech Foundation bylaws. We will also, Dr. Montgomery will lead us in the agenda item regarding the honorary degrees for President Emeritus Dunn and Shawnee Penn. And then finally, to round out, we have a consent agenda regarding a tower lease agreement, some curriculum proposal changes, a personnel report, and we always like to thank those that have served WMU and are retiring. And then obviously some financial statements, annuity of life, and cash performance. So with that concludes my remarks. So Dr. Montgomery.
Thank you, Chair Edgerton, and good morning to everybody. I hope your holiday season's off to a joyous start. We've had a really incredible semester so far. From the grand opening of the one-of-a-kind student center to our incredible improvements in retention and graduation, surge in research expenditures, and the remarkable accomplishments of our athletic program. We've got lots to celebrate. I'd like to go through some of those noteworthy things in a moment, but I want to make sure we start looking ahead rather than just looking back. Looking ahead, it's the great time of the year, not just the holiday season, it's graduation time. So in a couple of weeks, we'll have 900 bachelor's degrees, 220 master's degrees, 55 doctoral degrees or specialist degrees, all walking across the stage at Miller and of 3 programs. It is really where we celebrate what we are here for. It is the symbol of their success, our success in preparing students for their future. We'll also use that occasion to celebrate and pay tribute to 2 honorary degree recipients, President Emeritus Dunn and Trustee Shawnee Penn. I want to, in terms of talking about some accomplishments that highlighting, I want to congratulate the College of Aviation. They signed a deal with Allegiant Travel Company. We were selected as their inaugural partner in its Associates Pilot Pathway Program. The program is designed to streamline career opportunities for our Broncos and make it easier for them to move directly from college to working for the airlines. It pairs students with an Allegiant mentor and supports them throughout their educational journey. And in their senior year, they're positioned to take on work as cadets and possibly get hired by the company right at graduation date. Our students not only will receive first-class education in the classroom, but this opportunity, again, gives them more opportunities to get experience-driven learning. Couldn't be prouder. Aviation continues to clean up. The students recently hosted an intercollegiate regional flight competition, and our Sky Broncos precision team took first place in both the flight and the ground competitions, and now we're off to the Nationals in May. Next week, we'll have an opportunity to recognize others who've made a great contribution to campus at the semi-annual Make a Difference Awards, where we'll celebrate excellence amongst our staff who've made great contributions to Western Michigan universities. The people who will get these awards really signify the heart of this university and what makes it a truly special place to work and to teach and to study. And so I want to congratulate the award winners. I won't name them right time. We'll save it for the time we get there. But the program will be 2 p.m. on Monday in the Student Center, so I encourage everybody to come and honor our colleagues who've done such great work. Also in the vein of honoring exemplary employees at Western, next week we'll be honoring long-tenured employees who will get inducted into the 25-year club. And so I want to congratulate those. Those are people who've been serving with us with great distinction for a long period of time, and their talents have really helped make the place the special place we all enjoy today. So I want to thank them. We'll have one particularly noteworthy inductee at that ceremony, Dr. Bob E. White, who's a professor in industrial and entrepreneurial engineering and engineering management. Bob isn't just a 25-year club member, he's a 50-year club member. So I want to congratulate Dr. White in advance, but we'll have a chance to celebrate him in 50 years. I was 5 at the time or something like that. I wish. More or less, a little Pinocchio minimum there, but in any case. Thank you, dear. Also want to single out and congratulate Professor Kat Crotchett, whose artwork is in a exhibit called Connections. It's a juried group exhibit of work that addresses contemporary relations to nature. It's going to be presented in the Chicago area. If any of you are planning to go to Chicago, it'll be through December 18th at the Art Gallery in Chicago. So continued hats off to the faculty in Arts and Sciences and Professor Crotchett for, I'm sorry, in Fine Arts, not Arts and Sciences, and their work. Chair Edgerton noted we yesterday got to commemorate the life and work of Albert White and his contributions to the campus, literally building our foundation, the buildings we stand on. I think taking a moment to reflect on all of our history and all of the people who've contributed to making us the institution we are is important, and I think it was a well-received event, so I want to thank all the people who helped make that come about. I promised some sports highlights, so let me make sure I don't forget them. We've had a number of championships this fall, an incredible number, starting with the women's soccer team, who finished the season at 2012 4-3, and earned their first ever regular max season soccer championship. Coach Robinson and the team went on an 11-game unbeaten streak and really and placed 6 student athletes in the All-MAC selection team. So hats off to that program. Men's soccer also was distinguished this year. We're becoming a soccer powerhouse, no doubt about it. The men's soccer team finished their season at 16-3-2. They earned the second most wins in program history. They went to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournaments before that School and Green down there in Indiana beat them in overtime. But Coach Chad Weissman and the guys had an incredible season again, so hats off to them. And we're still dancing because our volleyball team is gone to the NCAA tournament. They're going to play Auburn tonight at 4 p.m. Our team won 20 games in a row on the way to that championship. So really proud of Coach Munson and the job that the women did. If you got to be at the MAC championship game, Reed Fieldhouse was rocking. And so hats off to everybody, and particularly the players who did an amazing job this year. So again, very proud of the accomplishments of our student athletes this year. Very proud of the campus. I want to take just a moment to thank a particular employee, Michelle Ruska, who's the executive assistant senior in the office of the president. She's going to be retiring after 35 years of service at Western. She's been at Western for 40 years because she's a Bronco, and so she came here and has stayed and has been invaluable both to the office of the president, but also to the office of the provost and a number of other roles around the campus since she's come, and has been an incredible person. She started some initiatives around Every Diversity Counts. She was part of the Bronco First Professional Learning Communities. She was a mentor of the CETA Scholars Program. Her and her husband, Rich, also an avid Bronco, are big sports fans, and just we will miss her contributions. She's one of the most dedicated and hardworking professionals I've ever encountered. So I want to say thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, President Montgomery. So now I'd like to welcome our shared partners to the podium. In the back there's President Sarah Summey from Faculty Senate.
Good morning, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, President Montgomery, colleagues, and guests. On behalf of the Faculty Senate, thank you for the opportunity to present to you and to update you on our activities. Fall is when the majority of curriculum revisions, deletions, and new program proposals are submitted. Proposals had to be signed off by the deans by October 31st. For the program proposals that need further review, they are now moving through Undergraduate and Graduate Studies Council or the WMU Essential Studies Course Review and Approval Committee. This year, there were 255 proposals. This is down a bit from a year ago, but the previous 2 years were actually quite high. In your board materials today, there were several proposals from the School of Public Affairs and Administration. These proposals are deleting concentrations and adding emphasis areas. The emphasis areas will allow students to choose at least one emphasis from multiple disciplines across the entire university. The Ad Hoc Committee on Artificial Intelligence has been meeting and currently has an environmental scan survey out to the campus community to ascertain how AI is currently being used on campus. The results will determine the next steps. Also this fall, the Campus Planning and Finance Council has focused on the university's efforts in regards to sustainability and environmental impacts, with an emphasis on how it aligns and is taken into account as part of the campus master plan and construction projects. In collaboration with the Undergraduate Studies Council, the Graduate Studies Council is drafting a memorandum of action to address various practical issues surrounding cross-level undergraduate and graduate courses, as well as providing singular instruction as to what role 5,000 level courses play in the curriculum. The Faculty Senate Executive Board recently approved the establishment of the School of Theater and Dance. This has now been forwarded to administration for consideration. The Faculty Senate will soon solicit departments to submit their presidential scholars. This scholar event will be held on March 22nd at the WMU Student Center from 4 to 6. Please put that in your calendar. The Presidential Scholar is a recognition bestowed upon outstanding undergraduate senior level students and on the basis of academic and artistic excellence in their major program, as well as their overall promise of success. The next Faculty Senate meeting is a week from today in the Student Center, Ballroom A at 5 o'clock, and you are all welcome. I will take any questions that you may have.
Anyone have any questions? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Summy. Now I'd like to welcome WSA President Kayla Bird.
Good morning, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, and all those in attendance. It's hard to believe that 2 weeks from today, finals will be wrapping up and students will be able to indulge in a much-needed break after what has been a very busy semester. Thinking about the start of the semester to where we are now, yesterday we just passed the student election code in preparation for the incoming administration next year. It's kind of crazy how time passes by so quickly. To students, faculty, staff, administrators, let's keep the Bronco spirit and finish out the semester strong. At our last meeting, I was able to inform you of what we were looking forward to, and now I'm excited to inform you of what has been done. Within WSA, with the oversight of Executive Officer of Governmental Affairs Ryan Tay on Civic Engagement Week and Executive Officer of Student Affairs Lynn Liu on Mental Health Week, we have continued to expand our reach every year and every semester to more students. Furthermore, with the leadership of Director of Marketing and Outreach Alex Kasperzak, Director of Information Management Nicholas Johnson, and Assistant Director of Marketing and Outreach Ali Rack, we have been able to appropriately and efficiently share information with students. And in fact, with the legacy that has come up from being set aside for a few years, that is open to everyone with the WMISH email. It has an open rate of over 30%, which is pretty good for students. We don't even open text messages, so it is really awesome that they were able to do that. As a cherry on top, the director and assistant director of allocations, Tyler Smith and Clayton Weirda and their team have awarded over $420,000 to more than 100 RSOs in this past semester. In comparison, last year we had we have increased our reach by nearly 50% as far as how much we have given out and as far as how many RSOs, individual RSOs, that we have reached out to. Just recently, on November 3rd, with the help of the Western Student Association Chief of Staff, Melissa Powers, and the WMU Chief of Staff, Kayla Schumann, the student government leadership team had the opportunity to meet with the President's Cabinet over dinner for a deeper look into recurring themes within the student body. Over the past few years, student leadership has expressed that engagement was down. However, in this conversation, with the surplus of RSOs that we continue to support and the activities that we see in the Student Center, we discussed how student engagement is increasing steadily, especially with the brand new Student Center that we have. And it is almost that the thought of engagement that we have is shifting. Engagement is not, hey, everybody, let's go to this party. Engagement is, I'm going to stay with my friends and have this more close and connected community. In that, we have done more to connect with different organizations and see what different organizations are doing to lift up. Groups such as the International Student Council has taken the initiative to begin events such as a Spring Welcome Week for international students and incoming students that didn't have the experience of Bronco Bash when they started, like most students that start in the fall. Groups like the Campus Activity Board has hosted concerts and movie nights that have been so well attended that I want to go every week if I could. So we are so excited to foster more connection and collaboration with those individual groups in personal settings. In addition to the outstanding performance that President Montgomery said about the student athletes, I will say that I had a conversation with Dan Bartholomew, the Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, and the men's hockey team had a record attendance, I believe, at the first game of over 2,200 students. To put it in comparison, the amount of seats that are available for students is 1,000. So, needless to say, it is good that we'll be having a new space for us soon because we are excited. Looking into next semester, out of the 71 business days from the start of the semester to the end of the year ceremony, there are already over 30 organizational-wide meetings and events and 5 week-long events that we will be hosting. All that being said, this would not be possible without the support of faculty, staff, administration, you all on the board, and of course, student-to-student support. All in all, Broncos are engaged, active, energized, ready for a break, but showing engagement in different and beautiful ways. Fight on Western and onward for the brown and gold.
Did you have any questions, anything? Just so the board knows, we are going to get updates from WSA on those week-long events, so everybody can put them on their calendars if they're able to attend. Now I'd like to turn this back to Dr. Montgomery, who will introduce item number 7 on the agenda for those at home, building a bridge to future success.
So those of you might remember when the governor pledged to fix the damn roads, how was she going to do it? Well, she turned to Western Michigan University and Professor Upo Atanyake because of his great expertise. He is a professor of civil and construction engineering and the director of the MDOT Center for Excellence for Structural Durability here at our university. He's going to share with you in a minute his 2+ year journey on building bridges for the state and the Michigan Department of Transportation. It's really an incredibly unique partnership that's allowed him to integrate and train our students better and give them hands-on experience, as well as been of great service to us as citizens of the state as we get our bridges and roads back to shape a little bit faster than we otherwise would have done, but thanks to his great effort. So I want to turn the microphone over to Professor Atanyake and thank him for fixing the damn roads.
And I do apologize for the podium being back there. I think, for the audience to that. So, I mean, why the board can see it, I recognize the audience has to turn a little bit. So, do apologize to the audience and speakers.
Good morning, and thank you, President Montgomery, for your kind introduction and giving an overview of our contributions. And within a short time, so I'm supposed to give a glimpse of what we offer to our students to have experience-driven learning opportunities and the societal impacts of our projects. So as Dr. Montgomery mentioned, so I manage the Center of Excellence for Structural Durability supported by Michigan DOT. We conduct a lot of projects and a lot of student involvement. So before we go into this Second Avenue Bridge project and talk about it, I just want to show some examples. Like this is a project that we completed in 2022. We had 14 student employees working on this project. And we work with not just the MDOT industry partners, so like a Turney Consulting engineer. Turney Consulting is just located off of Sprinkler Road, and they have a huge lab. We can bring in concrete trucks inside and fabricate large number of specimens. Like we fabricated like 60+, I think, specimens brought to Western and get them burned in summer and cool down in winter in our parking lot. So we evaluated how the maintenance is going to perform, how to cut down the maintenance time so that we minimize the mobility impact time. So that's the biggest goal. And also improve the safety. Okay? Construction zones are known for accidents. So then I recruit students, and typically I train a PhD student for 2 years and try to get them to lead some tasks in these projects. So for example, like I recruited Abul, trained him for 2 years, asked him to lead some of the tasks. At the end of the project, he graduated also, luckily. So, and then he got a job from Indiana DOT as the assistant concrete engineer. So now, here's my team, the current team. I have Sanjoy Baumik, Harsha Amunugama, Naveen Ranasinghe, and then Sajit Pereira. Michelle couldn't come, she was not feeling well today, and we have Kevin Sali. So these are our students. So in addition to helping with the Network Arch Bridge project, they are working on another project that we have currently looking at the safety of bridges because of the end deterioration of these beams. And Sanjoy is leading some of the tasks. Harsha is actually helping very little for that project because he is still busy with our Second Avenue project. And all others are helping, like Naveen is by profession electrical engineer. He's doing an undergraduate in MAE. Sajid is by profession civil engineer. He's working temporarily right now with us, looking for an opportunity to get into graduate school. And Kevin came from, which country, Kevin? Sorry. DRC. Sorry? Congo. And I hope he doesn't get mad. When he came here, okay, he was very poor with his computer literacy. So we trained them, not only hands on these activities, we trained them on every aspect, report writing and programming and everything. So now he's very good with PowerPoint, Word, and programming in MathCAD. So that's how much training they get. So it's not just getting them to do something. So we make a complete person out from our group. So moving forward to Second Avenue. So why is so important? Okay. So one, the location. Okay, it's in downtown Detroit. They wanted to have an iconic structure. They want to select this Network Arch Bridge. That's the first in Michigan, fourth in US, first skewed bridges because there are some historical significant structures. They couldn't make a straight bridge. That made more complications. I-94 carries about 200,000 vehicles a day, so closing I-94 is not an option. So because of that, the superstructure was partially completed at a different location, lifted it, moved it, and placed over I-94. So that's the first bridge in the world of this type to build off-site, lift, and move. So there's no experience. So these are some glimpses of what happened. So the superstructure was built parallel to I-94. You're looking at I-94 eastbound. It was lifted, moved, and moved over the support across I-94. What you see over there is I-94. That yellow truck, what's called the construction equipment, is on I-94. So it was moved over I-94, placed over the supports, completed construction, and this is how you expect it to see in summer when all the plants are grown and with bicycles, pedestrians going over the bridge. So this is an iconic structure. So what was our responsibility? We were not the designers, okay? So we had a different role. First, this is the first bridge. So we need to learn a lot of things. We need to provide feedback to industry and DOT, everyone, about how this bridge is going to behave. How are we supposed to design, analyze, design it? So we were asked to design and implement a structural health monitoring system. We came up with a system, 100+ sensors, put into the bridge. From the first day of construction, we have to monitor it. And then we are going to do load testing. We are looking for 14 dump trucks to put on the bridge to show how steady this bridge is, how robust the bridge is. And then we are going to understand how this bridge is going to move, deform, expand, contract during the seasonal changes. Establish the operational bounds for the bridge so that we are trying to develop a web-based system. It will get all the data real time. If there's anything going off the limits, it will trigger text message or something to MDOT so that they can go and look at the bridge. So that's our plan. Who helped or who was involved? Harsha, as I mentioned, he's the most senior PhD student I have right now. So he started from the first day of the project. And Kanchani worked on the project. She established the simulation platform that we are going to build as the 3D model of the bridge. And she graduated recently. She works at Parsons. Parsons is one of the best civil engineering firms. Okay? And I don't want to discredit Western. She had the third interview with Wisgen Yelsner. And I used to take students to Wisgen Yelsner labs. They are in Chicago. That's a well-recognized international company. When we talk with them, they say, oh, we always hire students from Purdue and other places. So I was very happy to know that she had the third interview, but she had to decline it to go to Parsons because there was a delay and she had to confirm the offer with Parsons. Parsons was one of the independent reviewers for this project. They didn't know it, but with all the experience, she had the opportunity to go there. So that's how much we provide opportunities for these students. And sorry, so I had to get back. So we saw about Abul. So we know about him, Srikanth. He was involved with this project, construction engineering master's degree, 12 a.m., I responded to the company, their recommendation. 1 o'clock, they responded back telling that, okay, we are going to hire him. Next day morning, he got the offer. So now he's a staff engineer. Sanjoy is still working with us. Naveen is still working with us. They work on this project. And Yuresh, he graduated with mechanical engineering degree, worked for Pfizer, now he went to Australia. So this is the bridge. They built it at this off site. So you see some wires along the tie gird. That's the horizontal member says the tie gird. So one side we have 50-some sensors, the other side we have some 50-some sensors. All the wires are embedded now. But in order to accomplish this, we had to work during summer, winter, under inside highly constrained reinforcement cages. I don't know if you can see that bottom middle figure. There's someone inside. That's harsher. You have to go through these and mount the sensors inside. And then you have to go up on the hangers, mount the sensors, but with all the safety precautions as the professionals. They learn how to operate man lift and construction equipment at the site. Contractor was so confident, and they allowed them to operate their equipment at the site. And yes, at the end, you have to celebrate when you do extraordinary things. So this is a very complicated project, because we had to do all the monitoring during construction. So we can't keep the data acquisition system in one place. We had to move it around when they are building parts of the bridge. So we had to deal with 100+ wires. So if you miss one label, everything is gone because you're going to interpret something different. So we had to go with a very robust system with labeling, not to have any mislabeled wire. At the end, we had to cut them and get it to the final place. And then this is in Detroit. You need for 2.5 hours to drive from here. We left at 4:30 a.m. to be there at 7:30 a.m., work until 9 p.m., 10 p.m., come back here. And during COVID, unfortunately, we couldn't rent vehicles from Hertz. And most days I had to drive with them. Then I had to take care of all my work. So that was a very painful project, but interesting because we have contributed to the world, actually, not just Michigan. During monitoring, Naveen built our own accelerometer system, very low cost. We mounted accelerometers on the equipment, bridge, so we monitor acceleration because there's no real data. So we provide real data so that they can verify the assumptions and also include that into design codes. In addition, we talk about sustainability. This has a unique concrete mix. 67% of cement was replaced with industry byproducts. GGBFS is coming as a byproduct from steel industry. It's called slag. Fly ash is coming from what's called the coal industry as a byproduct. So 67% of cement is taken out. So that challenged us because there are no models to represent the behavior of it. We had to make hundreds of specimens. Students build the molds, instrumented them, fabricate the specimens. We don't have a big lab with controlled environment because we are not planning for it. So we built our own controllers, and we control the temperature and humidity within that, so we have standard conditions. So that's how we collected data. At one point, there was a problem with the concern with the quality of the tiger because of some concrete issue. So you had to visualize inside of concrete. There's one technology to do that. Only team that is capable of doing that is in German. Because of COVID, we couldn't get them. Luckily, I spent my sabbatical over there. I developed actually the operation manual for them in English. They had everything in their memory. They had people, no documentation. They knew Russian and other languages, so I had to work with them, develop the manual. Luckily, with that experience, they virtually helped. MDOT trusted us. We scanned and collected data. And they spent time when it was in January, -20 Fahrenheit outside. You can't hold this with the gloves, so you can only stay 10 minutes, collect data, hit your hand. So that's how much, one, I can say, yes, they suffer, but that's how much they dedicated time to these things, this kind of work. That's how much they contributed. Through simulations, we learned what are the limitations. We collected data. This is an example of how much industry is paying attention to the quality. So they got the knuckle markup to be built by the contractor. So contractor had to prove the quality before they build the new bridge. Even with that, we had that consolidation concern or quality issue. Contractor had to build this for 3 times to prove the construction quality or bring it to acceptable quality. So that's how much we put our effort to build long-lasting structures. So I'm going to skip because of the time. And then no one gets, I don't think anyone in the world so far got an opportunity to get access to the models built by the engineer of records and two other independent companies because of the significance of the structure. We got access to those models. We reviewed them. We are submitting a confidential report to MDOT. And our students now know what is really in the industry-built models for these kind of structures. Not only that, we are building a refined 3D model with which require a lot of computer resources and personal hours to build, verify with monitored data, and then we are going to show how we are supposed to build these bridges, analyze and design the bridges. So we are going to verify the assumptions, maybe fine-tune the process for the next generation of structures. So societal impacts. Because of this project, I-94 was closed only for 12 days. That shows how we can use the technology to minimize the mobility impact time. You can quantify these impacts. One, you can look at what is the economic impact to the surrounding communities, what is the economic impact to the surrounding businesses. Not only that, even the environmental cost. Water pollution, air pollution, you can quantify these. But it requires a lot of data, so we have to deal with big data. So just to highlight the significance of real-time monitoring, at one point, once they placed the bridge on 4 supports, this has only 4 supports, this bridge, there was some delamination. And they don't know what is the extent of it. And everyone was going crazy, or are we going to go for emergency closure of I-94? We look at the data overnight. We had a discussion with MDOT, engineer of record, everyone, so they were satisfied with our conclusions. So they kept the 94 open. Otherwise, it could have been closed for reasonable time until they investigate this. There's no technology to go inside and look at concrete at that location, even though we had technology for other locations. So going beyond, recognizing our work, I was appointed as a co-chair of this international conference on sustainable built environment in Sri Lanka. And also, I helped them to establish the International Association for Bridge Maintenance and Safety, Sri Lanka group. After 10 plus years working with Professor Frangapol at Lehigh, he trusted me and helped me to establish the local agency. So we are organizing a symposium. So that's how we transfer our knowledge, bring Western name over there, and I'm proud to say Western is one of the only 2 international universities listed as technical co-sponsors over there. So we are next to University of Melbourne. And organizing another special session in Copenhagen for the parent organization of Yamas. With all these, we don't stop. We bring students to professional conferences, meetings, bring them to sites, get exposed to professionals, bring them to like the last right bottom is Visgeny lab. That's what I mentioned, like we go there. Okay. Basically, I use some of my IDC to take students. I'm not supported to take these students. So that's how much we commit personally also. We don't forget. We enjoy time. We have dinner, lunch together with our technician students. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, and your team. It's quite an accomplishment for Western. Yep, question?
I'd like to ask a quick question, but first a comment, Dr. Tatanayake. Fantastic work, and to the students as well. It makes us feel very proud to see this fantastic work you're doing, and I live in Detroit. I know this bridge, and now I feel more proud. So thank you very much. I'm going to spread the news about how awesome the Broncos are. I'm curious about the sensors on the bridge. Are those all external sensors? Do you have any internal?
Except on the hangars. Hangars you can see if you walk by the bridge, if you look carefully, you can see them about 8 inches long, 6 to 8 inches long.
Yeah.
And all the others are
Embedded.
concrete
Yeah.
elements.
Are they just strain gauges or?
Yes, they are type of strain gauges.
Okay. Any fiber optics at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So they are expensive, and also I want to say, when we started planning for the instrumentation, bridge construction was almost going. So we had a very tight schedule. We had to work with MDOT. It was a very stressful time because we don't know how fast we can even get the sensors. So we went with that. And one point, we had a meeting, progress meeting. So there was lack of communication. And then we were talking about the bid, then suddenly the construction engineer said, oh, do you know that they're going to start pouring concrete today? And we were like, are they going to pour concrete in the segment with our sensors? So luckily they didn't do it. So we went in the night over there, we looked at, no, they didn't pour concrete in that segment. Then next day they poured the other one, we went over there. But when you have sensors in it, first time concrete, all the sensors are going crazy. We don't get the data that we expected. So you can imagine how much pressure we have when you have national interest and attention to your work, but you feel like none of the sensors working. But it was due to vibration and everything. Everything got settled. 100% of the sensors are working right now.
Yeah, fantastic. Great work, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Nope. Okay, Dr. Schuman, we've moved on to public comments. Do we have any individuals wishing to speak?
Chair Edgerton, we do not.
Okay. Move on to our action items. Item number 9, VP Vanderclay, would you like to share the information about the LESO program?
I certainly would. And before I start, we recognize Chief Merlo, but we also have Deputy Chief Tim Unanks with us. So Tim, can you just stand, both of you? And so before I talk a little bit about the program, I just kind of want to remind us about what WMU Public Safety means and how we function. We are one of the very few university police forces that has been accredited. And in fact, we're going through the reaccreditation process now. And our whole approach is community policing. So that means we usually have an officer who, I'd like to say assigned, but spends a great deal of time in a specific residence hall. We also have officers on the west side of campus. And we really are here to keep campus safe, and so to have a positive environment between public safety, young people, guests to campus. The reason why this is a program, and Law Enforcement Support Office program, LASO, is kind of long, so I'm just going to go with the 1033 program because that's how the cops talk about it. It actually, this version came into existence in 1997. It's actually out of the National Department of Defense, and the specific act that created it was known as the National Defense Authorization Act. Since it began, there's been $7.6 billion worth of equipment provided to local policing agents that have volunteered, self-selected to participate in the program. Fiscal year 2022, there was $160 million. When you hear Department of Defense, I think most people probably start thinking about military weapons, tactical vehicles. That is actually a very, very small component of the program. Less than 2% on the arms and 1% for tactical vehicles. It provides what I would call necessary equipment that they use every day: face shields, vests, boots. And the great thing about this program, it also includes things that you might not think about as part of the police uniform or equipment. I know they have their eye on pots and pans for their break room, but there are other things that are just so critical, and it's free. The Department of Defense actually does an unconditional transfer to the police agencies, and these are items that we would go out and have to use university dollars, whether state appropriation or tuition and fees, to purchase, and we don't have to because of this program. So to give you an example of some of the things we have procured: face shields for riot helmets, protective eyeglasses, a commercial-grade coffee maker, ammunition, I know, and we don't like cranky cops who don't get their coffee, I can tell you. Ammunition pouches, a generator, tools to repair and clean firearms. We did obtain one rifle. That was about 12 years ago. We never used it. The reason why we obtained it, as I understand, it has far more penetration capability than anything we have, so it would only be needed in very dire circumstances, which we've been fortunate. We've not had to have the need, but if there is a need, we have the equipment that will be necessary. So with that, what has changed under President Biden, there was an executive order, and for the first time, to continue participation, it is being required that the Board of Governance for each police agency give formal approval for our police to continue to participate. The exact format is dictated by the Department of Defense. That has been provided to the Board of Trustees. But with that, we're recommending that the board approve the request to continue facilitation of the 1033 program, which allows WMU to procure equipment that enhances both our community policing initiatives and our response to active threats. I'd be happy to answer questions. I might defer to my police colleagues.
Trustee Hoadley?
Thank you. This is, I think, really helpful. Is our intention by participating in the 1033 program to continue seeking acquisitions that are in line of what we've historically pursued?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? Okay, this requires a roll call vote.
Okay.
Secretary Schumann?
Yeah. Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Turfy's vote is yes. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 10. Keith, our General Counsel, will update us on the amendment to the Paper Tech Foundation bylaws.
Thank you, Chair Edgerton. Good morning, almost good afternoon, everyone. For consideration by the board today is the proposed adoption of amendments to the Paper Technology Foundation bylaws. This board's bylaws reserves for itself the power to adopt the bylaws of entities related to Western Michigan University, such as the Paper Technology Foundation. The Paper Technology Foundation, along with Western Michigan University's Chemical and Paper Engineering Department, really exemplifies the synergy that can be achieved when world-class faculty, highly focused students, industry and community partnerships, and generous philanthropy come together. The Western Michigan University Paper Technology Foundation was established in 1958 by the pulp and paper industry to recruit capable students who wish to pursue careers in the industry, to form a partnership with WMU that provides the necessary resources to educate and train those students, and to establish a scholarship program to assist students financially during their college years. On April 18th and October 18th, 2023, the Paper Technology Foundation Board of Trustees met and approved revisions to its bylaws. The noteworthy modifications to the bylaws include formalizing the existing procedure whereby the managing director is an independent contractor appointment by WMU with responsibilities defined and approved by the Governance Committee of the Paper Technology Foundation Board. Providing for a new standing committee structure consisting of smaller working groups consisting of a paper technology trustees that have a strong interest in a particular committee. Endowment funding, previously undefined, will be consistent with WMU advancement policies. Finally, some minor procedural changes to signature authority and award nominations and approvals. The managing director of the foundation, Mr. Brian Paul, wanted me to inform this board that the Paper Technology Foundation is in good financial standing, is growing both in its financial position as well as corporate membership, now has 2 endowed professorships, and that the Chemical and Paper Engineering Department has had growth of the number of students this fall unforeseen in recent history. To conclude, the Paper Technology Foundation Board of Trustees recommends that the Western Michigan University Board of Trustees approve the revisions to the Paper Technology Foundation bylaws as set forth in the draft bylaws provided as part of this agenda item. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone, any questions? Okay. Secretary Schumann, roll call?
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Turfy's vote is yes. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley. Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you. Dr. Montgomery, will you give us the detailed information on the honorary degrees?
Thank you, Chair Edgerton. Western has a rich and longstanding tradition of honoring leaders who devoted their time and talent and resources to this institution and having a truly lasting impact. The Honorary Degree Committee received a nomination for President Emeritus John M. Dunn to receive an honorary degree from Western Michigan University. Dr. Dunn served for over 10 years at this university. During that time, some 50,000 students walked across that stage and started their careers and lives successfully. He was renowned for the contributions to the university, starting with the Homer Stryker MD School of Medicine, efforts to improve our sustainability, including LEED buildings all across the campus, setting up an Office of Sustainability. To mention just a few, he was a passionate advocate for foster youth, helping again start the Cedar Scholars Program, something that has become a national model for us. And so on a variety of different fronts, in addition to that, Dr. Dunn has done great yeoman service. He's also a passionate Bronco athletics fan, as those who have ever seen him at a game will get attest to. And so it's my privilege to recommend that we recognize the contribution of Dr. Dunn and award him an honorary degree of Doctor of Laws, Honoris Causa, for his legacy of leadership to our campus.
Thank you. Roll call on that for honorary degree for Dr. Dunn.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy's vote is yes. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Holdley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Montgomery?
And then similarly, in recognition of incredible service to the campus, Shawnee J. Penn, former trustee, former vice chair of the board, has been nominated for an honorary degree because of her strong advocacy for higher education, the many contributions she made to Western Michigan University and connecting us more with Detroit, being a tireless advocate for students from that region and contributions to our state on a variety of fronts, both at the university and not. She served as not only a board member here, but as a member of the Detroit Public Schools Foundation, the Girl Scouts of Southeast Michigan, the Detroit Belle Isle Conservancy Board, and the Detroit Area Pre-College Engineering Program Board, and got recognized on a number of different fronts, including Michigan Chronicle Women of Excellence Award in 2012, the Michigan Chronicles Emerging Leaders Award in 2013, and in 2014, she was selected to the American Marshall Memorial Fellowship from the German Marshall Fund. The late Shawnee Penn was a really mover in keeping our focus on our students here on the campus, and so I'm proud to recommend that we award her a posthumous Doctor of Laws honoris causa for her legacy of contributions to Western Michigan University.
Thank you, Dr. Montgomery. Dr. Schuman?
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Turfy's vote is yes. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Holdley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. We now have on the agenda consent items. Does anyone have any item they wish to have removed, tabled? No? Okay, I will entertain a motion to accept all consent items.
So moved.
Support.
All right, Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Turfy's vote is yes. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Holdley.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, consent items pass.
Dr. Schuman, do we have any further public comments?
We
from
do
the
not.
audience?
We do not.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Everyone in favor? Aye. Thank you all very much for attending today. Look forward to seeing you in 2024.